All right, fellas, day 18. So today, let's clean up those calipers. We'll start throwing the rotors on. We gotta press new bearings. I think the rotors already have the races, so pretty much just gotta get the bearings in the rotors and install the rear seals. And then throw everything on. I got brand new seals, brand new bearings. I got a new spindle nut. I got a new cover. I got everything new for the front. Once we get that done, I think I'll go ahead and pull the rear brakes, clean these up. Well, I got new rotors and new brake pads for these. Got the new lines. We'll take the calipers off, clean those up, and then clean up pretty much all this rusty shit on the axle itself. And we'll be done with that side of it. I think I'll go ahead and run the hard line that goes across the differential, which it is right there. I'll clean that up as fast as I can, at least. And then throw it on. And I also have the new brake lines for the front. So let me get my little table cleared off and we'll start throwing the rotors together. All right, guys, here's what we got. We got a new 2500 rotor. These are nice. These are the Ray Bestos. Yeah. Anyway, these already have the races pressed in, so it's really nice. So we got our rear bearing, our front bearing, our rear seal, the dust cap, and then I went ahead and got a new nut, washer, and cotter pin. So let's pack the grease in these and then throw them on. We'll put the rear seal, flip it over, pop that front bearing on, and then we'll get it on the hub. Guys, we got this put in, and I see a lot of confusion on what to torque this to. And basically, you get it to where it's starting to get tight. The actual measurement is 16 foot-pounds, but I don't have a torque wrench that'll go that low. But you have to torque it while you're spinning the rotor forward. So it's basically just a little past snug, like a little bit over hand tight. And there you go. Now we just need to, well, put the cotter pin in, put the dust cap on. I'll do the other side, and then we'll clean up the calipers and throw the calipers on. Also, don't forget, even the GM service manual says once you get it tight, to pack the outer bearing with grease, because as it spins, it starts to get hot, it starts to seep in there. So before you put the cap on, make sure you get your cotter pin, pack some more grease, and then put your cap. All right, yeah, we got both sides on. Now, I'm anxious to see this on the ground. I don't know about you guys. So, I think what I'll do is throw the front wheels on, set her down, and see how she looks. Then we can continue on with our regular programming. Let's check it out. This is gonna be dope. All right, found the first issue with the setup. This is the issue. I'm gonna need some, I might have to hit up Wheels A Million and see if they can machine me some custom center caps, because these are too short to clear the hub. So let's pop them off, put them on anyway. There it is, guys. So, cab clearance. This tab right here, and this inside corner, basically the same one on the passenger side. So, I'm pretty sure that it'll lay out. Right now, it's on top of that. The rail under the lift. So, basically, we're probably gonna have to move this wiring plug. I'm thinking chopping it up, move it up, and then tub this side. But, motherfucker look good. Let's see, we're laying on this. Right there. So, let's get it back up. We'll pull the wheels off and then start playing with clearances. Bags look good though. Oh, right here. I didn't open it up enough. So right here it's laying on the bag. And eventually it's gonna end up cutting that. So I need to open up the pocket a little more. We'll go ahead and do both sides. What about this one? See, this one is perfect. We'll play with it. We're getting there. It's looking good. I was doing some brainstorming yesterday as well. My original plan was to get the bed on it, and then I got a toolbox that I was thinking of setting up the air tank management and all that. But now I'm thinking that we could build a cross member back here. Build a cross member here, set up the tank like right behind the differential across, and then set up the compressors. Put the tank here, set up the compressors on the opposite side of that. That way the leader hoses are right there. And then I'll set up the battery back here. Just put a battery box, weld it onto the frame, and then I could run like an access panel on top of the bed for like jump starts and stuff like that. But we're getting there. Slow and steady wins the race. 18 days of this. I'm tired, but man, looking at this laid out makes it all worth it. But let's get it back up, take the wheels off, and then we'll start clearance in there. I'm gonna go ahead and mark it with a Sharpie. That way I know how much clearance I'll need. I think I'll give it like 2 inches. That way we have enough space for the tires in case we want to turn late out or whatever. And it'll be the same on this side where I mark it, which the truck isn't really aligned right now anyway. It's towed out like crazy. So let's do that. All right, here's another thing that I forgot to mention. So the homie Ruben on YouTube was asking about this. So the front studs don't poke out enough here on the wheel, through the wheel. So we're only grabbing like 6 threads. So my thought, I got some of these. They're shank lug nuts. And they have a, you put a washer in them and then they'll go through the wheel to hold it down to the studs. So my thought is, I'll put these on, but for the front, I think these are gonna be a little too long. And these are actually the shortest ones I've found in this thread pitch. And I'm gonna do the same for the rears, except these are longer. So it'll go through both rear wheels to the studs. But we'll figure it out when we get there. For now, I'm just gonna use these to, get it on and off or whatever. And I'm gonna see, I think these are 3/4 inch shank. I need to find some that are 1/2 inch. If not, most likely I'll just chop a 1/4 inch off of these so we could run them with these. But I don't know, we'll see what I can find. If I can't find anything, we'll just do that. If I can find something, then I'll just order a shorter shank. But I think these are inch, I think inch and a quarter, inch and a half. I think these will work perfect for the rear wheels. If not, then we can use these for the rear wheels. I think these are 3/4 or 1 inch shank, but we'll figure it out. We always do. All right, guys, here's what I'm thinking. So these two like pockets look identical on both sides. So I'm thinking from this bolt, I'm gonna go down 6 inches, which is pretty much where the tire was hitting. It was hitting right here. But if I go down 6 inches, let's do 5. We'll do 5 inches here, and then from here, I'll go across to this point here, and then go up to where that meets, and then we'll chop this piece off here, and then I'm gonna have to cut it down here to fold that up, and then we'll just make some filler pieces for that little mini tub. And we'll do it on both sides. I just got to be careful on this side because the shit. Let's start moving around. This is the HVAC, so I think that's a blower motor and all that. It's right there. But we're nowhere near it. The only thing I got to be careful with is burning the carpet. So I'm gonna get in there, pull the carpet up, and then, yeah, I think I'll go, because I think when I measured it here, focus. When I measured it here, it was 6 inches to this point. If I go 5 inches, I'll be right under that antenna hole. But we can always move this. I'll just drill another hole. There's a grommet anyway. We'll go 5 inches, and then go across, straight across, and then cut this one straight up, and then cut this little chunk out, cut it down here so we can fold this up, and then we'll make a filler panel for this piece and the one that goes down to meet this one. So let's do it. I've never actually tubbed the Firewall, so what better way to learn? All right, guys, here's what we got. So my thinking is I'll get some 16 gauge and I'll make the curve. It goes from here up to here. The only tricky part is this bend right here, right? So what I'm thinking is I'll cut that piece of 16 gauge, get the curve here, and then I pretty much got to match up this one, this edge with this corner. So once we do that, then we can cut out our filler panel for this side. And on this side, I beat this side in just to see how it'll fit. But it's the same thing. I'm gonna come up with the curve right here and then make a filler panel for this side, and then I just gotta cut a little patch to cover this hole up. And then when we get to the wiring, I'll probably just put a grommet here somewhere to run the wiring from the engine to the inside of the cab. I have to turn the fan on because after cutting all that, it got super smoky in there in the truck. So I had to turn the fan on and open the back doors and let that shit air out because it stunk. But that's what we got. I need to go find some 16 gauge in town or see if I have some scrap here somewhere. Come to think of it, the old inner fender wells are like 16 gauge. I'm gonna mock some templates up with cardboard, and I might just cut up the old inner fender liner. It already has a curve to it. Maybe I could just chop a piece and reuse that. Yeah, I like that idea. Instead of having to buy some 16 gauge, I'll just cut chunks off of that one. Use that same curvature for that. Let's do it. All right, you guys. So I ended up cutting all the way down to where it's pretty much a straight line, where it's flat. Focus. So that way when I cut the template, it'll go from here to here, and that's it. From here to here, and then I just got to build a filler piece for here. The way it was with all the curves, it was going to be a pain in the dick to try to match the contour of this weird curve right here. So I figured, you know what? I'll just cut it all the way to where it's flat, and then I can just build one whole piece here and then one to fill this in right here. So I'm still gonna use the inner fenders. I'm gonna try to at least. I gotta make a template out of cardboard, mock that up, get the measurements, and then transfer it over to that. Chop them out, see if it works. Let's get it. All right, fellas. So here's what we got. I'm not gonna lie, these welds are fucking dog shit. It's impossible to weld sheet metal with a Chinese fucking welder because that thing is not consistent at all. So anyway, I might try to touch it up with a TIG and just, try to do a couple more spot welds, and then I'm just gonna do some seam sealer around the welds because I don't trust them for shit. I mean, it's holding, it's solid, but I don't know, that welder kind of sucks. For thin stuff, I mean the thicker stuff, it welds it like nothing, it's glue. But this thing with sheet metal, garbage. Garbitch. Anyway, it took me forever to build these pieces and tack them on. So I'm gonna spare y'all the trouble of watching me cut all this I'll get back with you guys once I get this one cut out and tacked in, and then seal them up, spray paint them, call it good. Then we'll be completely done with all this, and then we'll start to tackle wiring. Well, no, you know what? Before we get the wiring, once we get this done, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting measurements to make a brace where we can mount the air tank, air compressors, and I'll probably go ahead and mount the manifold out here. Yeah. So let's finish the bullshit over here on the cab. Once that's done, we'll get all the air suspension stuff mounted, and then hopefully, I think tomorrow or Monday, we'll get the fittings for the airlines. Uh-oh, this one's loose. Oh, motherfucker's gonna leak. Anyway, we'll get the fittings for the airlines and start running lines, and hopefully by then, we'll have all the air suspension, all the air management mounted. And then we can start running everything else. But yeah, let's get it. And I apologize for jumping around between this and doing that and doing this and doing that. But man, my mind is going 1,000 places at a time. So once we finish this, we'll figure something else out. We still got to do brake lines. We still got to set up the proportioning valve. We still got to run brake lines for that. We still need to rebuild the back brakes. And then, fuck it. We're staying busy. And we're getting there slowly but surely. All right. Both sides are done. This side, what I'm thinking for this little piece, I still want the harness to go through here, but it's only going to be, I think, like 4 or 5 wires from what I'm actually keeping. So I made this one, and I think I'm just going to make it to where it's got like a grommet here, and I'll just screw this onto the firewall itself, like on the sides. Anyway, that side's done. This side is done with my dog shit welder. But I'm gonna get some seam sealer and cover all this shit up. That shit looks fucking gross. And I think we're done. I still have to unbolt the bag here and open these up a little more on both sides. That side is good. We're getting there. We did a whole lot of shit that we didn't plan to do today, but I'm glad that's finally done. I'll go pick up some seam sealer from, maybe O'Reilly's has some. And we can seal that up. We'll be good. And then tomorrow, we'll finally, after we get that done, we'll finally start cleaning up the calipers, running brake lines, and splice the emergency brake. We're gonna have to figure that out. But we're slowly getting there, folks. That's all I got for today. Thanks for hanging out. Peace, beaners.